Hello guys, it's Becca and we're here for another crafting on a budget video. Let's say you have a project, which I do, that you need buttons, like you button your clothes up with. The project calls for using buttons. And you have no buttons whatsoever in your crafting stash. None. I can't say I don't have any. I do have one. I have this one right here that was made like a little flower. It has the button in the middle of a circle. Okay, so excuse me, I'm yawning. So say you have, a project that you need some buttons for, and you don't have any buttons in your crafting stash to use for the project. So if you're like me, you don't go out shopping. So if you ordered any buttons, if you got any buttons, you'd have to order them online and hope they come in time, because the project that I'm working on has to be done before week is up, before next Sunday. This is Sunday, the 3rd of March, that I'm making this video. I need some buttons for a project I'm working on, and I could order some online, but I don't know if they'll come in time for me to actually do the project. So I thought, what in the world am I going to do for this project? How am I going to do this when I have no buttons? Am I going to have to miss this project? I don't want to miss it. So I started brainstorming, trying to think of something that I could do, some way to quickly get a hold of some buttons. Or what could I do? Well, it popped in my mind what I could do. I hope this is acceptable for my project, because this is all I have to use for it. But I'm going to show you how to have buttons when you don't have any buttons. Okay? All right. First off, if you have some scrap paper, pull it out. Find you something that is circular. And I'm going to make a huge button. Okay? I'm going to make a huge button here. All right. And here are the holes in my button. Hang on, though. We're not through. Hang on. So, I have that button. Now, I have a smaller circular object here that I'm going to make another size button with. And here's the holes for that, but you don't really have to do that right now, because we're going to take and we're going to fold this over. And then I'm not going to draw even the smaller one, but you can draw even a smaller circle. But I'm going to fold this over 2 times. Make sure I have it straight. I'm going to take my scissors And I'm going to trim around this button that I drew. I'm not good at staying in line even when I drew it like that. So now I have 3 buttons. I can use it on this side or that side. I can draw my little buttonholes. Okay. Now, I have a piece of paper that has circular objects on it. So I'm going to take and I'm going to cut around one of these edges and cut this image out. Okay, so I have a button there. I'm going to cut these other 2 out off camera later. I even have this image that I like. So I'm going to take and I'm going to fussy cut around the edge. This is kiwi. This is kiwi fruit. I'm going to cut right around the edge here and cut me a strip of these kiwi out. The reason I'm doing it so precisely because I don't want to ruin those kiwi on that side, because I'm going to cut them out also. I'm just showing you what I have done, and I will finish them offline, off camera, however you want to say it. Now these on the end, you don't really have to be precise with them because they're not completely, they're off the page, so probably won't use that one. But I'm going to cut this one out, and I'm just going to throw away that end one because it's not circular enough. Now, as that one dropped, you see the back of this is the striped, white and black striped. It's not really good for a button, so I'm not going to use the back side of any of these. Plus, I like the kiwi pattern. There, some of them are not, you know, perfect circles. Some of them are kind of like a oval type shape. But you have buttons in all different shapes. So I'll finish cutting them out off camera. Take my pencil and make 2 little dots in the middle. Now these are little, so it's going to be little holes. Okay, I'm going to take my... Oh, let me cut this big one out. I love the big ones. I love them because they're easier to deal with. But they're cute too. Like a big old button. I'm just not good at fussy cutting. I'm not good at staying on the lines. I go over one way or the other more than what I should. Maybe it just I need more practice. I don't know. So there's my huge button. Now, I'm going to take a black color sharp marker, permanent marker, and I'm going to color in the holes of my buttons. That'll make them, show up better than just the pencil. Now this one here, like I said, it's small, so this one I'm just gonna dot it. Okay. that one, I didn't keep it circular. With the light shining, it's hard for me to see. There we go. What else we need? We need some dots on this one. I didn't even attempt to do this one with the pencil. You probably won't be able to see it with the marker. But there we go. We've got 2 dots on it nonetheless. So we've done that. But now it looks just like a cut piece of paper. It's just cut off. So we need something else. So what do we need? Okay. We need some ink. You can take your ink pad and your little dauber, whatever you use, and you can ink around the edge of these buttons. But you see, I'm making a lot of buttons, and I have arthritis in my hands. And after a while, both hands, this one that's turning this button and this one that's holding this pad, starts cramping up and gets to hurting so bad I can't stand it. So all I'm wanting is this white edge covered. So I take my button and I put it on the edge. My ink pad is kind of soft, so when I mash my paper down into there, I have an inked edge for my button. It gives it more definition, makes it look more real as a button. And it's not as hard on my hands. I don't know if a hard pad like the, Macy, are you okay, baby? Like the Ranger ink pads, Tim Holtz. I don't know if that would pick it up, on the edges good enough like you want it to be kind of over the edge. I don't know it, because it's kind of like a hard ink pad. You would need a ink pad that's kind of soft, that your paper can, kind of bury down into it and pick that ink up a little bit on the edges. It's messy. It gets on your hands. But hey, you're crafting. So there we go. That fast, we have this many buttons. What, 7 buttons? That fast? I did all of these in hardly no time at all. Once I figured out what I needed to do. Look at all of my buttons that I made. So if you ever have a, paper crafting type project you're doing, naturally you couldn't use these for real buttons to, actually close something up. But then again, if you want to really get technical with having a button, you could take your button, if you have like the binding kit that has that pointed object, what do they call it? Pokey tool. You could actually poke out your holes. You could cover it with liquid glass. If you don't know what liquid glass it is, there's another brand that I don't remember the name of it. I think it's a Ranger product. But this is from close to my heart. It's called Liquid Glass. I'm going to do one, just one. I'm not going to do them all because I may do it after I get them placed on my project. Let's see if I can get this to come out. You could cover it. Okay, there it comes. Just coat it really, really well with the liquid glass. What is that? What is that other one called? Let me get my tweezers to hold that down. I would have get a small one to work on, wouldn't I? I can't remember what the other one is called. I no longer have any of it to be able to grab it and tell you. I think I do have either I have another bottle of this close to my heart one, or I have another brand. I'll look and see. Okay, you just coat it. If you have liquid glass on hand, or a product similar to liquid glass, and you would let it dry, and once it dries, it's going to be shiny like a button. It's going to, be stiffer than it would be, as paper. It would be more of a consistency of a button. Yeah, this is close to my heart. But see, one thing is my glue is getting old, and I really need to use it up before it gets completely where I cannot use it. I've had these for years. Back when I was a close to my heart consultant, and I've got to use them up. So I'm probably going to use them on my page when I get my whatever I'm doing with the buttons. I still don't have completely in mind what I'm going to do with the buttons, but now that will have to dry. And if I do it on my project, it'll be on my page. But there you go, guys. I hope this is acceptable for my project, but I had no buttons, none whatsoever, to use on my project. Now, I will never, as long as I have some scrap paper, I will never run out of buttons, because I have figured out how I can have their paper buttons, but they're buttons. And like I said, if I want to go more realistic with it, punch the holes out with your pokey tool. Then put you some liquid glass over. I wish I could think what the Ranger, I think it's Ranger, brand is. That was the first time I ever heard of it, was using that other brand. And then I seen that Close to My Heart had these whenever I was a consultant with them. But there you go. And when that dries, that'll be pretty and shiny, and it'll be more stiff. And you got your button. So I wanted to come on and share that with you, because I'm crafting on a budget. Plus, I'm in a spot that I don't go out shopping. I don't leave my house unless I have to. Except for just out in the yard, but I don't go anywhere I don't have to go. And I was worried that if I ordered, that it would be, sometimes it takes it over a week to get here. It's according to the mail, or to, the wherever you purchase it from, or whatever. And I was just afraid they wouldn't come in. So I said, I'm just going to make me some paper buttons. And I mean, it's crafting if you like to craft. I enjoyed making these. This was so fun to create these paper buttons. You can create them any size you want them. Those huge ones, you can even make them bigger than that if you want to. You know, or as small as you're willing to deal with them. You know, I don't want them no smaller than that right there, because my tedious little my hands with all the arthritis and everything, I can't work too much with smaller things. But I just thought I would come on here and let you know how you can have buttons. If you don't have any, how you can come up with some buttons. So, there we go. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope maybe it helps someone that might be in a pinch for buttons for the project. And most of you that watch my channel knows what I'm talking about. It's from Patty over at Life with Patty. She's the one that we're doing Artisan Journal with her. She gives us a prompt each week, and the prompt for this week was buttons, using buttons. And so she was mentioning some things. She said she's seen one person just take a bunch of buttons and just glued it all over, you know, buttons all over their page. Didn't necessarily make a design out of it or what. They just glued it all over their page. So I got to thinking about it, and I said, where am I going to get buttons in a hurry? Here they are. I'm going to finish cutting these papers out off camera. I'm going to cut until I get to where I can't cut no more, or until I get all of these cut out. I'm probably on this piece of paper will draw some of these smaller ones, because I don't have a whole lot of them yet, and cut them out. And because, I mean, to me, this is part of the crafting, is crafting the buttons. And I like to paper craft, so I'm working with paper here. And I have well enjoyed the process of making the buttons. So I wanted to share it with you. I'm going to let you go for now. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will talk with you later. Bye!